Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here. So I got this email, and there's a couple of emails. I'm going to definitely keep this anonymous since this is a pretty sensitive matter. But it's sort of around the subject of suicide, actually, definitely around the subject of suicide. And I wanted to make this video because I wanted to talk to a lot of you that are probably in a similar situation or have this similar kind of mindset. And I don't know, I mean, some of you aren't really contemplating suicide. Some of you are, okay? And, I know this is definitely a sensitive topic, but and why, just maybe something that will help you, right? If you're in this mindset, if you're thinking, I'll read you this email and you can see if you relate to this mindset. I know that some of you do. And in some ways to think about your life that might help you to get out of this mindset and to realize that you're taking things too seriously. I think a lot of times, and I'll tell you this, right? Before I even get into this, I do it myself, right? I take things too seriously sometimes in life. I mean, I definitely make things, and sometimes to succeed in life, you have to make things life or death. You really do. But here's the thing. It's like, you also have to know how to release the pressure, how to have that pressure release valve, so you can realize it's all just, none of it really fucking matters. Like, none of the shit, it's all a fucking charade, right? I mean, we're putting on suits and ties and taking our briefcases and going to work and pretend like the shit that we do matters, and doing our yoga and our diets and our and whatever it is we're doing, and it doesn't really fucking matter, right? It doesn't really fucking matter, right? If you think about it, like, all of this shit, it's just a charade. Like, what do your parents think of you, and what grades you get in school, and how much money do you make, doesn't really fucking matter. Like, if you can breathe air, if you got a place to live, and you can eat, okay, which most of you that are watching this channel, that's the case, that's all that really fucking matters, right? You have some relationships, you have some friends, it's cool, right? That's life, right? All this other stuff really is gravy on top, and it's not really that important. We put so much emphasis on stuff trying to make it so important, right? Which, again, in order to succeed in life, sometimes it's important to make that emphasis, to make it life or death so that you succeed. But in reality, it's like, it doesn't really fucking matter, okay? And so, gosh, I'm trying to get to this email, but I guess I do want to say this one more point before, and I'll talk more about this. But what I'm saying here is that, like, sometimes it's such a tragedy if you were to consider taking your life or doing something drastic, right, like that, based on something that doesn't really fucking matter, like the grades that you get in school, or someone's opinion of you, or that you got rejected, or all of these things, right, that don't really fucking matter, right? Instead of just living freely, and like, why don't you try living without that pressure and just like doing whatever the fuck you want? Like, at least that would be, a better alternative or choice, right? Some people might frown at you and say, oh, you're wasting your life. But you know what? If you're doing what you want, you're having a good time, and you're just like, living, that's better than dying, okay? That's like, I mean, it's we can level and we can measure things and say, oh, this is success and this is not success, and you're a fucking failure of a person, of a human being. But it's all fucking fake shit anyway. Like, I mean, the way that we're judging, the metrics that we're using, like, money isn't actually anything. It's fake. It's just a perceived value, right? All of this shit and everything is just perception, right? And so, what does it matter what grade you got in school? It doesn't really fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, let me get to this email. So, there's a couple of emails here, but this is kind of the mindset. I'm not going to say who this is from, but he says, hello, I'm a bit hurt due to cutting myself, and I changed my mind for a second. But after I turned on my mobile data and received an email about me not completing some tasks in university, even skipping some lectures, I've had social anxiety for years, but for some reason it hit me even harder for my first year in university, which took a toll on me. I am more depressed than ever. I feel like a complete failure. Everyone is better than me, and I feel like a total loser. If they kick me out of university for this reason, I am 100% going to stab myself. I feel like I completely failed my parents. What's the point of living if I'm such a failure with basically no future? I just can't. It's too hard. Okay, now the reason why I wanted to read you this, and again, I've already talked about a lot of what I'm going to talk about here, is just this idea, like, when you listen to this person who's sending me this email, first of all, I have empathy, right? I have empathy for you. I'm not trying to be a hard ass here, but what I'm saying is that, like, No, all that stuff that I read in that email, it doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't fucking matter in the grand scheme of things. I mean, and you could think of it this way. It's like, it's kind of sad because like something like this, like getting bad grades at university or disappointing your parents and this kind of stuff, or getting kicked out of university, could actually cause someone to take their own life, to kill themselves, right? Yet, had let's say the same person, their parents got in a car accident and they were in critical care in an ICU unit, all of a sudden all that shit wouldn't matter. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just want you to like think about this, right? Think about this. You're in that situation, and maybe you've got that mindset. I know a lot of you that watch this channel that watch a lot of YouTube videos. You might have this mindset, like you feel like your life is a failure and nothing's going right, and everyone's better than you and smarter than you, and everyone's disappointing you, and you got no fucking future. Okay, I understand that, but you got all these pressures on you. Okay, but if you're in that situation, right, and you're like, oh, I should just take my life, I should just kill myself, yet if your parents got in a car accident, or you could think of someone that you care about, right, and they're in the ICU, all of that shit that was weighing down on you, you would suddenly not care about any of that. It wouldn't be weighing down on you. You'd be in tune with, you'd be caring about this person that you care about, being injured or being in trouble, right? And that would be the focus. Like that would bring into your reality what's really important in life. And so it's a tragedy if you would take your life, right, for this stupidity, right? And it's kind of weird, right, when you think about it. And here's the thing, it's all psychological, right? It's all about how we choose to interpret situations and view things, right? I mean, if you were a homeless person, okay, like, and you could, and now you're this university student, like you got a chance to go to university and you're not doing great in it, but hey, you've got some friends and you've got food and you've got parents, like you're like this homeless person that had no parents and you're an orphan, and suddenly you've got these things, right? And someone's saying, oh, you're skipping some lectures and whatnot. You wouldn't give a fuck. You wouldn't care. You'd be like so excited, like, cause this is so much of a better life. You see what I'm saying? So it's all contextual. It's all based on how we interpret that information, right? So, I mean, and again, I've said this a lot on this channel, right? Some of you are like, man, John, how could you ever be depressed? How could you ever be upset? Like you live in the fucking life. I mean, you got a YouTube channel, you don't have to work, you just like, you're making money, you're kind of retired already, early, you're a millionaire, all these things. And the thing is, like, I could still be depressed. I could still like not like my life. Like I can take those exact circumstances, and a rock star could do the same. I mean, there's people that are way, way more successful than me on a monetary, on a physical, on any scale that you measure it, and they can think their life is shit. Why? Because it's all about how you interpret the situation, not what the actual situation is. And so, you're speaking to those of you that might have this mindset here that are contemplating suicide. I get it. I get that you're let down to your parents. I get that you feel like a failure. I get that you feel like everyone's smarter than you. But those are interpretations of the situation. You're choosing to add those meanings to those events or those facts, which is what's bringing you down, right? It doesn't, and again, I'll come back to this fact that this shit doesn't really matter. So what if your parents are disappointed in you? So what? Your parents could be dead. I mean, you said like you could be dead. Like it doesn't really matter, right? That this thing has happened. So what if you're failing out of university? I mean, maybe you shouldn't. I'm not going to say that you should, but I'm saying that it doesn't really, really matter. I mean, does it really, really matter? Is that really so essential? Why have we given so much meaning to these things? It's because you've chosen to give that meaning. Right? You choose what you're going to give meaning to in life. You choose what is going to be important to you. And somewhere along the line, someone else has given you a narrative that says it's important for people to like you. It's important for your parents to be pleased with what you're doing and for you to make them proud. It's important that you are smart and you get good grades and you go to school and you get a good job and you're smarter than other people. These things are important. And it's important that you are, socially active and you don't have social anxiety and you're a well-adjusted human being, right? But those values are all extrinsic values. They came from outside of you and someone else put that on you. I don't know if I've got the book Yeah, I only kept a few books in here. But there's a book I did a review on from MJ DeMarco called Unscripted. You should take a read of that book. You should take a read of it. You should read that book because it's a really, really good book. You know, in the fact that MJ DeMarco in that book, he talks about this idea that like you have this scripted life. So many of us have these scripted lives. They think we're supposed to follow this script, and this is the problem. This is one of the reasons why some of you are so depressed and you feel like your life is a failure and you want to potentially kill yourself, is because you are obeying someone else's narrative. Like all of these things, like I said, that are extrinsically, deciding on the quality of your life. Like you're letting those judgments, other people's judgments, decide what is good for you. Whereas what you should be doing is it should be intrinsic. It should be internal. You should be saying, you know what? What are the things that make me as a human being feel valuable? What are the things that I value? What are the things that I enjoy doing? What are the things that I care about, right? And it's unnatural for us as human beings to care about what grades we get in university. Why? Because that's someone else's fucking opinion. It doesn't fucking matter. Like that's, in order for us, we may think that those feelings of having to succeed and please our parents, all these things are coming internally from us and that's what we really want. But if not achieving those things are upsetting us so much that we want to kill ourselves, it's not what we really want. Right? And if we're not doing those things, it's not what we really want. It's what society, it's what other people, it's what the script has told us that we want to have, that are valuable in our lives. And that's why it's so depressing. That's why you're grading yourself against, going against the grain here, and you're feeling like this doesn't click, this doesn't work for you, that you're failing and you're not thriving, is because you're not in an environment where you can thrive. Because these things are not, what you're doing is you're trying to avoid loss instead of going towards gain, right? To you, these things aren't valuable, but you're just trying to avoid consequences, right? When you're constantly running your life, when you're trying to not get swatted by the fly swatter, okay, it's a stressful life. It doesn't have meaning. It doesn't have purpose. You can't see a future. But when you're going for the pot of gold, when you have something that you're trying to achieve that you want, right? Because you want to become the better version of yourself, because you want to have these attributes, because you want to get that job or do that thing, it's a much different feeling. Right? You're not fleeing from things, you're running towards things. And so if you're feeling like this, if you're feeling like your life is hopeless and you feel like all these pressures and you feel like you've got to live up to these expectations and all these things and it's not going right and you don't have a future, it's because you're running away from shit. You're running away, you're avoiding consequences. You're living your life in protection mode instead of expansion mode, instead of going out and chasing after what you want, instead of asking yourself the question of what is it that I actually want out of my life, right? I mean, think about this, right? Suppose you drop out of university and you decide that you're going to become an artist and you're going to paint or you're going to do music or you do something and you're going to live off of the the welfare of others, right? Maybe you're even going to beg on the street or whatever just because you just want to do it. That's what you feel like doing. What does it really fucking matter? What does it really fucking matter? Wouldn't that be a better life than dying, than killing yourself? So this is what I would posit to you, okay? This is what I would challenge you to say, okay? Is what if you gave up all of that shit? What if instead of, like, if you're at the point, and I talked about this in the other video, the Uber engineer video, which you could check out here, but what if you said, okay, instead of killing myself, if I'm at this point where I'm like, fuck it, I've failed, I give up. Like, I can't please my parents. I can't please anyone. I'm not succeeding in university. I think everyone's smarter than me. My life looks like a failure. I don't see my future. I'm not going to be able to accomplish what I need to accomplish in life. I might as well just give the fuck up. If you're at that point, instead of taking your life and wasting it, why not treat it as a free roll? Why not say, this is interesting. Well, I guess fuck it. I guess fuck it. I guess I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want and just have fun with this life, what's left of it, because it's a fucking waste anyway, so I might as well have a good time. I might as well go and do the things that I dreamed of as a little kid. I might as well go out and just, talk to people, and hell, I'm going to go and do some crazy shit, and maybe I'm going to try to become an artist, or maybe I'm going to do all this stuff, or whatever it is, right? Why not just have a whole bunch of fucking fun and just enjoy yourself, just have a good time, just do whatever your heart feels like you should do in life, right? Again, I'm not saying that for most people that's the way that you should live your life, although maybe that is. Honestly, maybe that is, right? Maybe it is. This is something to consider for everyone. But what I'm saying is that if you're at the point where you're willing to take your life, you might as well at least have a lot of fun. You might as well at least say, I might as well try living without any external pressures on me, not giving a fuck what my parents think, not giving a fuck what the university dean thinks, not giving a fuck about anything except for what I want to do and what's valuable and important to me, okay? And so you might have to sit down and you might have to ask yourself some questions. Maybe you should get a pencil and a piece of paper, and you might want to start asking yourself, and this is some questions that you might want to start asking yourself every day, regardless of who you are, is what is actually valuable to me? What do I actually care about? What makes me feel like a worthwhile human being to me, not to other people? What do I find valuable, right? Asking these kind of questions. What makes me happy? What brings me joy in life when I do it, right? What would I do if I didn't have external, if I could do whatever I wanted and I didn't give a fuck what anyone else thought about what I decided, what I chose, what I picked out, right? Ask these questions to yourself, because this is what you have to discover in life. Because when you start living your truth and living your reality, you're going to be a lot happier. Now, you're not going to be happy all the time. You may have depression. You may feel like, your life is shit. It's going to happen from time to time. But the closer that you can get to living you and doing you and being authentically you and not giving a fuck what other people think, the better off that you're going to be, honestly. And all that other shit, like I said at the beginning of this video, it doesn't really fucking matter, right? Does it really fucking matter if you have a good car or a fucking expensive house, or if you have a good job, or you got good grades in school, or your parents think you're the shit? Does that really fucking matter? It doesn't really fucking matter. It's all this we created. You know why we have all this? Why we created this world where we've got all this shit? It's to keep us fucking busy. Because what would you do? What would you do if you had nothing, no treadmills to run on, no fucking ladders to climb, no diversions and entertainment and shit to keep you occupied with your life, right? What would all these people do on this fucking planet? But you have to realize it's all just a fucking game. It's all just a charade, and none of that stuff really fucking matters. And so if you're putting all this pressure on yourself because you think it matters, you need to, it's better to just say, fuck, this is just all an illusion. This is all just a game, right? I'm just gonna do what I want to do. It's better to have that mindset and free yourself than to waste your entire life when, you've got, essentially, there's always a benefit, right? The benefit, you got to look at the benefit to where you're at, right? The benefit to where you're at right now, when you're at rock bottom, or where you feel like you're rock bottom, is that you got nowhere to go but up, and you got nothing to lose, right? So some of the worst places to be sometimes in life are where you've got so much to lose, right? In that video where I talked about the Uber engineer, so the problem, that this guy might have had was that he could lose his job. He had a good paying job. He had all these things going for him, right? And he was afraid of losing those things, right? So sometimes you can get trapped into a bad situation because you got what's called the golden handcuffs, right? People stay at jobs where they're making a lot of money, even though they hate the job and they hate what they're doing and they hate their fucking life, because they've got so much going for them. So if you feel like you got nothing going for you, it's kind of like freedom. It's kind of like hey, you can just kind of reinvent yourself and do whatever you want. It doesn't matter because you don't have anything to lose. You see what I'm saying, right? This is a valuable point in life. It's actually a good thing. So take advantage of this. Take advantage of this and do the best what you can with this and see what you can make of it, right? I mean, you got plenty of time. You're young, right? You're in university. Oh gosh, you don't even know, right? You don't have that perspective. I don't expect you to have the perspective, but at least have the perspective of saying, you know what? It's your life. It's my life. I can do what I want with it, and I'm not going to waste it, right? I might think that my future is shot, but that's someone else's opinion of it, right? There's so much more that I can do and do it. Try it. Might as well try it. Might as well at least give that a shot, rather than just saying, oh, all these other things, my life is crap, I'm just going to kill myself and end it. What a fucking waste. What a waste of an opportunity to try and living your life just as free as you want. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm not going to suggest that you do kill yourself, but let's say that let's make a bargain here. Let's say this. Let's say you give it a try. Let's say you're like, fuck this, fuck everything, fuck everyone. I'm done. I'm just going to live my life how I want, and try it for a year. And if you don't like it, if you're like, oh, that didn't work out, that sucks, my life is still shit, well, then go ahead. Then do whatever you got to do. But at least give it a shot. At least give that a try, right? It's such a tragedy to not at least give that a try and see where it goes, right? At least try that, right? Why not? Why not? What do you have to lose, right? If you're willing to lose everything, you might as well go out with a fucking bang, right? It's so pathetic to go out with a fizzle. To just be like, oh, life is hard. Oh, I'm dead. That's like, fuck it. Be a rebel, right? That's what I'm saying. I think you guys get it. Anyway, I wish you the best, right? And, and for those of you that are in a similar situation, just let the pressure off. This is just a fucking game. It doesn't matter. It's not so serious. Stop taking shit so fucking seriously. It's only because you've been programmed and told that and have all this pressure put on you that you believe these things. But they're not really true. It's all just fucking gravy. All right. That's all I have for you. And if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below. Click the bell to make sure that you don't miss any videos. And if you feel like this would be valuable to someone, please share it. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.